Today we're serving up a heaping plate of reality. A no bullshit look at 10 countries where your American passport might as well be a target. Buckle up, kids, it's going to be a bumpy ride. 90 miles off the coast of Florida, you've got Cuba, an island frozen in time, vintage cars, crumbling facades, and a rhythm that gets under your skin. But here's the thing. Cuba ain't handing out cigars and mojitos to every American who wanders in. The relationship between the US and Cuba, it's complicated, messy, like a bad divorce that never quite ended. You've got to jump through hoops, navigate a minefield of restrictions, and even then, you're on a tight leash. The man wants you on organized tours, sticking to the script, no going off the beaten path. And trust me, in a place like Cuba, you want to get lost, to wander down those back streets, to taste the real deal, not some sanitized version. So, unless you're itching for a taste of Cold War politics with your rum and coke, maybe give Cuba a miss this year. There are other beaches, other revolutions brewing. Let's talk Saudi Arabia, the land of black gold, scorching deserts, and ancient traditions. Saudi Arabia's been opening up a bit lately, but don't think that means it's open arms for everyone, especially if you're sporting an American passport. The visa process? It's a labyrinth of paperwork, interviews, and background checks that would make a CIA agent sweat. Once you're in, you've got to play by their rules. Strict dress codes, no booze, and public displays of affection. Forget about it. The allure of ancient history and the vastness of the empty quarter is tempting. But before you book that ticket, ask yourself, are you willing to check your American privilege at the border? Iran, Persia, the cradle of civilization, a land steeped in history, poetry, and a culture that dates back millennia. Think breathtaking mosques, bustling bazaars, the scent of saffron and cardamom in the air. But for Americans, Iran is practically off-limits, a no-go zone. A land surrounded by invisible walls, built on decades of mistrust and political animosity. We're talking about a government that sees the US as the great Satan, a place where your blue passport is a scarlet letter. If you do manage to snag a visa, don't expect a warm welcome. You'll be treated with suspicion, your every move watched, your words scrutinized. You'll be on a guided tour, chaperoned like a teenager at a prom, with no chance to wander, to explore, to really experience the soul of this incredible country. It breaks my heart to see such a rich, vibrant culture hidden behind these walls of mistrust. But until the political winds change, Iran will remain a distant dream for most Americans. Nestled high in the Himalayas, shrouded in mist and legend, lies Bhutan, the land of the Thunder Dragon. Bhutan's got this whole high-value, low-impact tourism thing going on. They want to preserve their culture, their environment, their way of life. But that means they're not exactly rolling out the red carpet for mass tourism, especially not for Americans. Bhutan requires you to book through an authorized tour operator and cough up a hefty daily tariff. Bhutan only issues a limited number of visas each year, and Americans aren't exactly at the top of the guest list. Bhutan wants to protect its magic, its mystique. They don't want to become another Nepal, overrun with trekkers and Instagrammers. But it's frustrating, you know. This idea that paradise has a price tag and that some of us, well, we just can't afford it, not just financially, but politically, ideologically. Russia, a land of vast steppes, frozen tundras and cities that straddle Europe and Asia. Remember those Cold War thrillers we used to watch? Yeah, well, scratch that. These days, the relationship between the US and Russia is less about spies and nuclear warheads and more about, well, awkward silences and icy stares. The political climate, it's about as welcoming as a Siberian winter. Tensions are high, sanctions are biting, and the average Ivan on the street isn't exactly lining up to shake hands with Americans. The visa process? Forget about a quick jaunt to the embassy. We're talking weeks, sometimes months of paperwork, interviews and background checks. Russia's got a lot to offer, from the grandeur of St. Petersburg to the raw energy of Moscow. But be prepared for suspicion, for scrutiny, for the feeling that you're constantly being watched, judged. Syria. Once upon a time, it was a cradle of civilization, a crossroads of cultures, a place where ancient history met modern life. Damascus, Aleppo, Palmyra, names that conjured up images of bustling souks, stunning mosques and Roman ruins bathed in golden light. But that was then. Today, Syria is a shattered shell, a land ravaged by war, a place where hope struggles to survive amidst the rubble. The Syrian people have endured unimaginable suffering, their country torn apart by conflict, their lives upended by violence. Syria is not a place for tourists. Not now, maybe not for a long time. The US government has issued its highest level of travel warning, advising all Americans against traveling there. The security situation is volatile, unpredictable, downright dangerous. Until there's peace, Syria remains a no-go zone, a place where even the most seasoned traveler should fear to tread. North Korea, the Hermit Kingdom, a land shrouded in secrecy, ruled by an iron fist, a place where time seems to have stood still. North Korea is not a playground for adventurous travelers. This isn't some off-the-beaten-path destination, some exotic locale where you can brag about being the first on your block to snap a selfie with a statue of Kim Il-sung. This is a totalitarian regime, folks. We're talking about a place where the government controls every aspect of daily life, where information is tightly controlled, where dissent is met with swift and brutal punishment. And for Americans, well, it's about as welcoming as a North Korean prison camp. The US government has a travel ban in place, and for good reason. Americans who do go, and yes, some crazy bastards still try, risk arrest, detention, even imprisonment. North Korea is not a game. It's a real country with real people, living under a very real and very oppressive regime. Venezuela, a land blessed with breathtaking natural beauty, from the snow-capped peaks of the Andes to the lush rainforests of the Amazon. It should be a paradise, a place where adventure awaits around every corner. But paradise, my friends, is a fragile thing. Venezuela is in crisis, crippled by economic collapse, political turmoil and social unrest. The US government has issued a do not travel advisory, citing crime, civil unrest and the arbitrary detention of US citizens. Venezuela right now is a powder keg, a place where even the most seasoned traveler could get caught in the crossfire. Libya, a land steeped in history, where the sands of the Sahara whisper tales of ancient empires, of Roman ruins, of Berber caravans, and of the legendary Gaddafi. It's a country that once held so much promise, a bridge between the Arab world and Africa, a land of opportunity on the shores of the Mediterranean. But that was then. Today, Libya is a fractured state, a battleground for rival factions vying for power, a breeding ground for extremism, and a haven for smugglers and human traffickers. The US government has issued its highest travel warning, urging Americans to avoid all travel to the country. We're talking about a place where lawlessness reigns, where kidnappings are commonplace, where even the most basic security measures are non-existent. This isn't a place to go looking for adventure, folks. This is a place where adventure will find you, and it probably won't be pretty. Yemen, the birthplace of coffee, a land of ancient cities, towering mountains, and a culture that stretches back millennia. It should be a traveler's dream, a place of wonder and discovery. But today, Yemen is synonymous with conflict, famine and despair, a country teetering on the brink of collapse. Years of civil war have ravaged this once beautiful land, leaving behind a trail of destruction, displacement and death. The humanitarian crisis is staggering, with millions facing starvation, disease and the constant threat of violence. Yemen is not a place for tourists, not now, maybe not for a very long time. The US government has issued its strongest travel warning, urging Americans to avoid all travel to Yemen. We're talking about a country where bombs rain down from the sky, where kidnappings are commonplace, where even aid workers are targeted. Until there's peace, Yemen will remain a no-go zone, a place where even the bravest of souls should fear to tread. Look, I've always said that travel, it's about more than just checking off destinations on a list. It's about pushing your boundaries, about getting outside your comfort zone, about experiencing the world in all its messy, complicated glory. But it's also about being smart, about being aware of the risks, about knowing when to walk away. The world's a big, beautiful, an often dangerous place. So be careful out there, kids. Stay informed, stay safe, and keep exploring. Just maybe not these places, not this year. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Global Gateway for more insightful travel and lifestyle content. Until next time, stay informed and safe travels.